let's just start by coming into this space, this awareness of where we are in this moment of time, in our bodies, feet on the floor, and just starting to shift your weight from one foot to the other, really feeling that center of your mass, the whole of your mass pressing down on to the floor through your feet. I have a cushy carpet. I can feel the indentations of where my weight is pressing as though in clay. About front of the feet to the back of the feet. You can roll side to side. And do some stretching and expanding too as we start to get our bodies and minds ready for this bit of experiential information. All right. And so thinking about your body weight as this column that your feet are holding up, and the ankles as being the interface here. And just start to rotate your body weight around the different parts of your feet. So your toes, sides of the feet, heels. So think about rotating your body around your ankle joints. So it's kind of like doing this, only we're using our whole body and keeping the feet still. We'll do it in both directions. So other parts will move too, knees, hips, whatnot, but really focusing on kind of stirring around the ankle joints in both directions. All right. And then we can start to bring our awareness to the knees as well. So as we come to one side, knees go this way, maybe a little bit of bend as we come around the front, knees to the other side, straighten the knees. So we have knees and ankles rotating, reverse direction. And then start to bring that awareness up to the hips, moving your pelvis, so moving your pelvis out front to the side, rolling it back to the side, to the front again. Knees, ankles, everything's moving together, more or less. Switch directions. Stirring the pot. All right. And you can bring that to a rest and just work through the spine, a little bit of loose arms, twisting, taking some breaths, relaxing your shoulders. And you can still notice your feet as you're turning your weight in this way from side to side. Your feet are responding, holding you upright so you don't fall over. Maybe spread your toes a little for added support. Slap, wake up. All right. And we're going to coast slowly to a stop here. Again, feeling your weight pressing down into the floor, maybe lifting up on the other end. Head lifting away from your shoulders, opening the neck. And let's bring the arms up in a nice swan dive. Open the backs of the legs. Lift your tailbone. Relax your back. Relax your rib cage, hips, neck, whatever needs relaxing. All right. And we're up again. All right, let's come back to our attention on our feet. And I would say pick a, choose a stance that's comfortable for you. So if you want to do it more narrowly and just play with wherever the width of your feet is, how more stable you feel doing this movement. I generally fall into feet under my hips. It's a comfortable base of support for me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start to rock the weight again. So I'm shifting my weight from my heels to my toes, but I'm going to start to come up on my toes as I come forward, come back on my heels as I come back and lift the toes up. So I'm going up and back. And trying to control the movement. This is a lot of foot, ankle, calf work. simple move. If you can come to the toes and come all the way up, or if you just want to lift your heels a little bit, or maybe not at all, but just noticing that shift, and then allowing your feet and your ankles and your calves to move with you. Again, if you want to play with different widths, do it more narrow or wider. All right, and your calves are they've probably had enough by now, so let's come down to our flat feet. Let's do another dive just to stretch them out one more time. Shift your hips side to side. Hey, how about even here you can lift your toes up and lift the balls of your toes up. If your fingers can reach the floor, you can use that to stabilize. If not, then you don't need to do this. But let me just come back on your heels in this position. The whole of my foot other than my heels is off the floor here. It's a nice little calf stretch move. All right, and we'll come up. All right. All right, so from here with our feet parallel, toes facing the same direction, if possible, we're going to take a step forward. I want you to take a nice long step forward, but I want you to think about, like, if you're, again, those two lines on the road, the double yellow lines, keep that front foot on that line. Okay. Now there's a lot of points here that we can tweak here, but I just want you to sense how this feels and how wide of a stance you could come into with your feet still flat on the floor, because it's going to likely stretch this back calf muscle, especially if your knees are straight. So there might be a tendency to drop the knees in or to lean forward. So let's keep the feet flat on the floor, unbend the knees, and stand up nice and tall and straight from your pelvis up through your head. If this is too much for you, you can bring that back foot up a little bit. But I want you to just try and see how far back you can get your back leg, while comfortably keeping the heels on the floor, knee bent. And I want you to pay attention to your pelvis here and think about your tailbone and dropping your tailbone to the floor. So we're posteriorly tucking the pelvis. And when you do that, you might notice a nice, I'm gonna assume it's nice, a nice little stretch and opening through this hip crease, which is what we want. So I'm going to just practice that. Tucking your pelvis forward this way and then pulling. And you can see how it affects my knee. That's an important piece of information. But in as much as I can keep my knee from bending, tucking the pelvis, so we're really opening up the hip crease here and the upper part of the quadriceps. Okay. So tuck, untuck, and I'm really stretching my calf as well. So let's switch feet. And if you want an added balance practice here, I want you to think about how you're going to switch your feet. So you're going to either shift your weight to the forward foot and bring your foot up, or you're going to switch your weight more to the back and bring your front foot back. All right, so now we're in the opposite position, again aligning the toes. Oop, that's the one I just did. Let's bring the other foot up. So again, nice wide stance, both feet flat on the floor. Check in with your feet because you might have switched one foot out. Standing up nice and tall. Drop the tailbone. Hopefully you're breathing, you're not tightening up anything. If there's anything where you're feeling like you're bracing against something, then check in where that tension is and see if you can modify that. If it's the calf, like I said, come in a little closer, or don't tuck the tailbone as much. Find the modifications you need to make. So we're tucking the tailbone and untucking. And you can see as I tuck my tailbone under, it does affect, because this is so tight in here, it's going to pull my knee into a bend. So I'm trying not to do that. Just noticing that connection here. All right, so again, we're going to transition to the other side. So either bring your foot up or bring your other foot back. I'm going to turn so you can see me coming into that first position. Let's roll through the feet here. So we're going to lift the heel up, pushing the weight to the forefoot, to the front foot, roll the weight back, pulling the foot off the floor, forward, back, all the while keeping the legs fairly straight, not tense, just not bending the knees, right? All right, let's do that on the other side. Nice wide stance, rolling forward, rolling back, lifting the foot up. And so we're just transferring your the vertical column of your body from one foot to the other. I think I put my front foot a little too far forward. That's okay. All right. Let's come back to the first side. All right, so in this point, feet are flat on the floor again. Now I want you to try here, just lifting your heel. And as you lift the heel, this knee's going to bend. So just practicing that, lifting and lowering the back heel. This knee may or may not bend, it depends. Sometimes I can do this and my knee just automatically drops too. All right, let's try the other side. Back leg, nice wide stance, lift and lower the heel. And if you keep your pelvis tucked, you can feel the connection possibly as you put your heel down and you're stretching your back calf, you'll feel the opening here as well, which is a good point of information for reasons that I'll go into in another class or another video. All right, one more layer to this. So let's come back to the first one. So we lifted the heel, we lowered the heel. Let's keep the heel on the floor and we're going to start to drop the knee. Okay, so now we're just bending the back knee. Now, key thing for here, actually before we do that, I just want you to notice if this is comfortable for you, as you drop the knee, and your heel can come off the floor here too, how low can you lower yourself comfortably and then lifting up again, right? So we're dropping the knee, maybe also lifting the heel, but we're using this back leg and we're using the bending of the knee and a lot of the strength of our quadriceps and our calf muscles to lower our body weight down perpendicular to the floor, okay? Now this might already be a challenge, but there's one thing I want you to notice. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in this knee, how far out is your foot? So if my foot's a lot closer, and when I start to drop this knee's coming way out over my toes. It not only limits how low I can go on this side, but it might start hurting this knee. So I want you to bring your foot out nice and wide and give yourself some room to drop in and lift and lower. We're just doing upper body push-ups here with our leg. And again, it might be screaming that it's time to switch sides. So let's do that. Let's come up, bring the foot forward. Let's bring the back leg back. I'll switch to this side. Feet parallel. Give your foot nice enough room out here so your knee, when it bends, it doesn't come out over your toes. And that's going to help you keep your weight more on this back leg. And again, we're just going to drop down. Just play with that. Notice how far your knee can go down before your heel lifts up off the floor. Maybe it's hardly at all, maybe it's a lot. It depends on the flexibility in your calf muscle, right? Now there's all kinds of postural adjustments that can happen here for you if you're not real clear what you're doing and you're not aware of what your upper body's doing. So it's very helpful to have a mirror or somebody spotting you to notice if you're coming forward, if you're doing this, or if you're just dropping down straight. All right, I'm going to hang there for a minute, and just to torture yourself, you can do that. You might find one leg is stronger than the other as well. This one wore out a lot sooner than this side. All right, and we're going to come up and again transition both feet. Whew. All right, let's stretch that out a little. See, for the back legs, back of the legs, not your back legs. Been spending too much time with my cat, clearly. All right. All right, one more piece we're going to add just to do the opposite of that. And yeah, let's just try it this way. So if you need support, you can lean up against a wall. But if you can do this balancing on one leg, I want you to start to bring one knee up, grasp the knee, and again, just however far is comfortable for you to go, we're going to start to bring your thigh closer to your body. So we're really bringing that hip into flexion, contracting that muscle. Added bonus, can you hold it there without the hands? And then we're going to lower down and do the other side. Lifting up the knee. Again, putting your back against a wall if balancing is challenging for you. All right, hold there and bring it down. All right, let's come back one more time. We're going to go through everything in reverse. So back to our long stride. Tuck your tailbone. Slide my feet. I can go a little bit further now. Drop the knee. Let's just do that twice, lifting up, heel on the floor. Drop the knee. Coming up. And switch to the other side. Holding my pelvis straight because I'm feeling the tendency to want to tip my pelvis forward. I want to keep it more or less neutral here. Drop the knee, lifting up. Drop the knee. Go a little further here. And lifting up. All right, come back to center. Feet back to pelvis width apart. Rock through the feet, heel to toes. You're just noticing if it feels any different to you, any easier, harder, more interesting, tiring. All right. Rotate hips, rotate knees, rotate ankles. Side to sides, come down. Let your arms hang, or you can rotate your rib cage, move your arms away and towards the floor via your upper body. Hang over your left foot, hang over your right foot. Press down through your feet, come on up. Let's roll up, stretch up to the sky, reach with one arm, then the other. And reach the arms out to the side. Again, feeling all of your weight switch from one foot to the other. Back down, pelvic twist. Let the arms swing. I feel like my feet are digging even more deeply into the carpet now, but much more like all of my feet, not just little parts. Hard to explain. Like maybe my feet have spread out a little bit. I can feel more of the carpet under my feet. All right, let's coast to a stop here. Shake it out. Little steps, walk around, and if this is a good time to do this, take a little walk. Notice the length of your stride. Notice the movement through your feet, especially if your shoes allow you to do that. Or you may notice that your shoes don't allow you as much to do that. And how does that affect your walking? Again, more on this in videos to come, but I hope that was interesting and enjoyable for you, and your legs are maybe aren't going to thank you today in this moment, but maybe tomorrow. All right. Thank you for watching.